Entrepreneur. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Welcome to this special presentation entitled Strategic Alliances: How to Get People of Major Influence to Give You and I a Much Needed Endorsement. And get this, even though they don't personally know you yet. Part 2. Entrepreneur, just yesterday I shared with you a video about how you and I can go about getting major people of influence online to give us an endorsement, if you will, simply by helping them out, even though they don't personally know us yet. Now, we're here at Alexa.com. You can see here, Alexa. And I want you to go there and put in this particular website address, www.inspiretothrive.com. These are the stats for that particular website, and I'm going to introduce you to the site owner, this lady, in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her numbers. In the United States, her ranking, 14,243. Of all the millions of websites and blogs registered in the U.S., she's number 14,243 currently, and that's as of today, April 20th, 2014. Look at her worldwide ranking, global, 39,071. Ladies and gentlemen, she's absolutely crushing it online, which means this lady gets a ton of traffic. Now let's go over here to her blog. This is inspiredtothrive.com. This lady's name is Lisa, and I want to show you something here. Look at this blog post she had. What if yours becomes the most popular blog site? In other words, this was an article she did, a blog post, if you will, that today got 152 tweets, and that'll go increase because as more and more people find this particular blog post and they'll comment on it and tweet about it, etc., etc., etc. Now, here's what I want to show you. This is why I brought you over here to the site. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular blog post received to date 120 responses. 120. Now, the point she was making is, what happens if your site, your blog, suddenly got incredibly popular really fast? She mentions and references a gentleman that had a blog about marriage and stuff that revolves around marriage. And he went from basically having little to no traffic, one or two comments, till it exploded up to hundreds, then thousands, and then 4,000 comments on this one particular post because he got featured in the Huffington Post and CNN News, etc., etc., etc. So, as it got picked up, more people picked it up. So here's my question to you. Entrepreneur, if you're time strapped right now, you don't have time to write one article, you don't have time to respond to one comment, how would you literally handle hundreds or thousands of comments, that is? Now, the other point she made was, if your bandwidth started to increase and you were using more and more and more bandwidth, your server is probably going to demand that you upgrade and get a more expensive server. Would you be in a position to make that investment? So it's something to think about. Now, here's my question to you. She has a bounce rate of 50%. And that means, for those of you who are not familiar with the term bounce rate, one of the things Google looks at is, A, not only how much traffic comes to your site, but do they stick around and do they engage, go further into your site by clicking on a link or going to a separate page? If they don't, in other words, if they just come to the one page, no matter what it is, and then they leave, that's referred to as a bounce rate. So her bounce rate is 50%, meaning half the people will engage and the other half doesn't. So here's my question to you. If you were given the choice, would you rather take a chance on being one of those, in this case, 120 people who left a comment and therefore got a backlink once it was approved? Or would you rather be like me right here? Number 2, top comment lover to date with 12 comments that have been approved. Now, 100% of the people that come to the site, now they don't all obviously come to her homepage, but the point is the 100 people that come to her homepage, at least, if nothing else, they're going to see these top 5 commenters. And this one lady down here, Harlena, she's huge. If you Google that lady's name, and I think it's Harlena Singh, I'm not sure, but it's Singh. You Google that name. This lady gets a ton of traffic. She's huge all over the internet. She's got a huge following. The next lady above her is actually my coach, mentor, and friend, Adrian Smith. And I'm not familiar with this lady here. And then there I am. Now, I was just teasing my coach today. I sent her an email and said, "Hey, coach, do you realize this blog and another blog, the one that I showed you in part one, she and I, my coach, are two of the top commenters, comment love contributors on this particular blog, pardon me, for now. And that could change, you know. But the point is, do you see how this is like the display window in a major retailer on an incredibly busy boulevard, like say in New York City? We're borrowing, in essence, these people's traffic just because we were the top commenters. So they reward us by saying, "Hey, you're helping my site get more social proof in the eyes of the search engines like Google, which means Google will raise them up higher in the search rankings, which means they get even more free traffic. So for helping them out, they reward the top commenters." So there I am. So my question to you is this, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you're doing right now, because you claim you don't have time, is it paying off? If it's not, then you need to change it. I mean, it's that simple. So I hope you can see how in this short video, the strategic alliance that we're talking about here, and getting an endorsement, if you will, from a stranger, is the fact that because we're one of their top commenters, they'll showcase us on the for as long as we're there, because that could change. You know, somebody else could come along and knock me out, and that's why I actually went through, and I'll be totally honest with you, and left as many comments as I did, because I wanted to make sure if I get on that first page I can stay there for a while. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may not be able to see it, and I'll try to zero in on it when I do the editing part of this video, but the name of this post, that program can teach, trying to get on the front page of this particular blog with that particular blog post. Most of her clientele and visitors are women. I mean, obviously you can see I'm there, and the gentleman above me and the top commenter is a gentleman, so there's plenty of men who read her blog. But by and large, her hardcore main audience is women. Most of them, whether they're on some kind of weight loss program or not, are obviously familiar with Jenny Craig. So when they see the title of that blog post, I'm hoping the curiosity factor will kick in, and they'll click over just to say, you know, what is this relationship that he claims exists between Jenny Craig and being a successful entrepreneur. But the fact that it's there and it's, you know, other than my time, free, is what I'm trying to point out to you. Now, that particular blog post is the same one that I'm being featured for on this other blog that I showed you yesterday. So if you want to see that, just see part one of this particular video series. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can see how and why strategic alliances are so powerful, and how you can, in fact, get an endorsement from a major person of influence online, even if they don't personally know you. Because I don't personally know this lady. We just, you know, interact a little bit on social media and at her blog. She comments on mine, I comment on hers, you know, that thing. So, with that said, for those of you who want to discover how you're going to add an additional 25% more gross profit to your bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, you want to do so in the next 90 days or less without having to add any new customers or clients, then I'm going to highly recommend you grab my free 9-page special report. Read it and apply it. And you can get it just by going to youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales. Now, entrepreneur, I have a question for you. Who else do you know in business who's struggling right now that could use some help? If you got value out of this video, by all means, please share this with them. On the other hand, if you're wondering, hey, Mark, what do I need to do and what can I do to get to the next level with my business, product, or service? Then, entrepreneur, I'm going to suggest that you grab your free 22-part Small Business Marketing Mastery Series. This is an additional free 22 emails you're going to receive on top of the free 9-page special report. It's my free gift to you just for joining the inner circle. It's a $97 value, and ladies and gentlemen, you are free to unsubscribe anytime you wish. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. We'll see you again next time on the Marketing Minute.